Hello, my friend. Today is the next monster in the game, Monster Hunter Wilds. This time it's not a difficult but interesting monster. We are hunting for Blangonga. We will talk about what to expect from this giant and how to deal with it. The Blangonga, as alpha male of the group, is larger than the Blango average and has a more aggressive disposition. The Blangonga's powerful, muscular limbs enable it to leap and run at an astonishing speed. Its roaring can also catch hunter unawares without hearing protection. Blangos can be summoned to battle by the Blangonga when it calls out its group. The Blangonga's speed is so deadly that it can confuse novice hunters. They can do a diving attack, which can cause them to roll into their enemies and inflict massive damage. Blangongas are able to break the ice and throw it towards hunters, causing them to become snowmans. They can also break it down into shrapnel, which can be used as a weapon. Blangongas can be incredibly aggressive. The Blangongas will attack prey and hunters with ferocity, but they'll avoid anything bigger than themselves. Blangonga live in cold habitats. The thick fur keeps them warm and also serves as camouflage. The species was mainly native to Arctic Ridge until recently, when it appeared in ice-shard cliffs. Blangonga, despite being a monster of late-game stature, is still quite modest. The Blangonga are not that much bigger than the hunters themselves. However, this allows them to move faster than others. The hunter can move quickly and reposition themselves at any time. We'll go over Blangonga's weaknesses, strengths, attacks patterns, and best strategies to fight him. Bring a fire elemental weapon to increase your damage and kill time. Blangonga can be affected by all the status ailments, including poison and sleep. He is also susceptible to paralysis, blast, and stun. You can use utility items like flash pods and shock traps to stun or immobilize him. Sonic bombs, however, are useless against him and will have no impact. Blangonga can be described as a brawler who combines raw strength with ice breath and boulder throwing. His body slam is one of the easiest attacks to avoid. He raises his whole body and then crashes down on the ground. It is easy to avoid, block, or offset this move because it's well telegraphed. Blangonga will throw a boulder of a reasonable size forward from time to time. It isn't worth it to try and block the boulder or move it off center. To avoid the boulder, it is best to duck to one side. One of the attacks in his arsenal is to pull himself back, lunge forward, and then punch with his arm. If you are able to time your move correctly, this attack can easily be blocked, offset, or countered. He may try to stomp on you with his left arm if you're standing directly in front. This attack can be handled by either blocking it or avoiding the attacker. Blangonga occasionally breathes ice out of his mouth as he sweeps his head in a sideways motion. You will freeze and become stuck to the ground if you stay in the mouth ice for too long. This leaves you open to further devastating attacks. Avoid this by not standing in front of the attacker when they perform this attack. You can block the damage coming at you, if it is possible, with your weapon. This move can also be done by standing on the back legs of the character and breathing ice forward straight when landing. Blangonga has an old-school move where he leaps quickly forward and dives at the target. Due to its suddenness, this attack is difficult to block or dodge. Be careful when positioning behind him, as he might suddenly leap backwards while simultaneously kicking with his feet. While it's possible to offset this classic move in previous Monster Hunter games with the right timing, you are better off blocking or dodging. Blangonga will always be accompanied by Blangos. They can interrupt combos or knock you out at critical moments. His most deadly attack is the rampaging body slam. He goes into an ecstatic state and jumps on his target repeatedly, as if he were trying to crush him like a toy. If you're already at low health, or have only half your HP left, this move can kill you instantly. If you notice him going on this rampage as quickly as possible, it is best to get as far as possible away to avoid being killed. You can create only 2 wounds if you mount Blangonga successfully, one on the back of his body and one on his head. The back is the easiest to get to when you are dismounted. Blangonga also has the Power Clash, which means that you can trigger it if you keep guarding. This mechanic can be used to your advantage if playing a weapon that is based on a shield, such as lance or gun lance. Follow these strategies to effectively handle Blangonga. To stay in charge of the battle, keep your position in mind. Eliminate his pack early, and be aware of his attacks with Ice Breath. You now know how to kill Blangonga. Blangonga, like most other monsters, is usually more aggressive when it is angry. It attacks faster and more often. It can combo you to death if you're not careful. Always be alert and vigilant. If there aren't any new attacks, it is best to stay away and take only risks when absolutely certain that you will be able to do some damage. Blangonga is a balanced fighter. The fight can be a little more difficult because he is more complex than monsters such as Kongolala and Gypceros. Use traps, flash pods, and other environmental hazards in order to win the battle if you are struggling. These same tactics can also be used to defeat a tempered Blangonga. Be prepared, and make sure you adapt your strategy accordingly. If you like the game Monster Hunter Wilds and want to see more interesting videos of this game, subscribe to my channel. Also, like the video, and I'll prepare a video of the next monster I meet in the game for you. If you have any questions about the game, leave a comment. I also recommend watching my previous video where I showed how I defeated Gypceros. See you in Monster Hunter Wilds, my friend. There are still many different and interesting monsters ahead.